Good morning, everybody. I'm hungry this morning. So I decided to cook a little something. And I thought you'd like to join me. I don't cook breakfast every morning. Sometimes I take a hankering that I want biscuits and gravy, so I'll cook some. Sometimes I want a bacon and egg sandwich, so I'll cook it. This morning I just decided I wanted a pan quiche or either an omelette, whichever one you want to call it. So that's what we're doing. And a lot of times I never put the same thing. I never put the same thing in my quiches or my omelets every time. I usually just kind of mix it up. You know me, I gotta have a sink full of dishwater to cook. I don't like making a mess in my kitchen to cook with, so I'm constantly cleaning it up. But I'm going to go ahead and peel a potato because I'm going to put that in there too. Thought I had a little bowl, but I guess maybe not. But while my bacon is cooking, I'm just going to go ahead and peel a potato. This is just a small white potato. You know what? I think I'm going to run out in the garden and get me a little green pepper. I think I've got a couple out there. Well, I thought I had one smaller than this one. This is the smallest one I found. And you know, that was on the bush of the red peppers, the red bell pepper. I was waiting for them to see if they were going to turn red. But I want a bell pepper, and so I just went out and got one of these. And you could eat them still while they're green, either one. You don't necessarily have to wait until they're... you don't have to necessarily wait till they turn red, so. I like bell pepper, so I think I'm going to put about half of this in there. Just chop it up. Sometimes I put the banana peppers in it. Sometimes even a hot pepper I'll put in there if it's just a small one. Because I don't like my stuff too hot. But I think a half of this small pepper will be plenty. I finally got all my mowing done yesterday. I got the backyard done. I took the weed eater out and did the easement part where my water meter is, because I like to keep it clear so I can get to my water meter if I need to. Because that's the only way I've got to turn my water off and on if I happen to get a leak in the house. You know, I don't want it to keep leaking and just run my water bill up. So I will go out there and cut my water off. And it will turn it off to the whole house. But that's better than having a $300 water bill. And I'm going to dice up my potatoes really small. Because I don't want them to take an awful long time to cook. I need to pay attention to my bacon or I'll burn it. Yeah, sometimes I get too many things going at one time when I'm cooking. And that's not necessarily a good thing. And I didn't wear my mask yesterday. And I am burning my bacon, y'all. Don't do like me. I like mine a little on the brown, crispy side anyway, so I don't care. But that is a little darker than normal. I'm going to turn that off until I get my potatoes cut up here. I'm just cutting it in strips. Like you would if you were going to make French fries. And then I'm just dicing up the French fry. Sorry about that. But most of my my viewers already know I'm allergic to everything out here. And when I get outside and I cut grass and I forget to put my mask on, and I wore it the whole time I was mowing the other, day or so ago. But then when I got out there to finish it up late yesterday, just as the sun was going down, it cools off. And I had just enough time to get the mower out, mow the very back of the yard, and which is not very big. And then take the weed eater and go through the easement. Just the section behind my lot where the water meter is. I always like to keep it clear for the water meter because I don't want to climb over bushes and limbs and all that kind of stuff trying to get to my water meter. And I also like to keep it clear for the guys that if they have to come work on the lines or any part of the meter, that they can do that. And I went out there and got me a small leek. You can tell because the roots are still on it. I didn't have my knife out there, so I brought it in. I had already washed it. Because I want onion in my omelet. And I know I should have my cutting board out, but you know me. I'm kind of, well, let me get it. So I don't have everything dropping. It is a lot easier to chop this up if I got it on the cutting board. But you know me, I put onions in everything. Onions are healthy for you. Garlic is real healthy for you. All kind of, just about everything out of the garden is healthy. But onions and garlic especially because they help keep you from getting colds, and you can even make a poultice out of onions and garlic to treat sore throats and colds, that type of thing. You know, this is going to be more almost like a quiche than it is an omelet. I guess you can call it either one. I always called them omelets, and a lot of my subscribers later, oh, you're making a quiche in a pan. How neat. I never thought of it that way, but I guess it is a quiche in a pan. I'm going to put a little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. But everybody's so interested, seem like, in what I eat every day. I put half of those muffins, banana nut muffins I made, in the freezer. And I'll probably take those over to give to my son when I go. But I also brought me some fresh basil out of the garden. And I will be putting a little tomato. Probably this tomato will be big enough. This one right here. It's cherry tomato. But yeah, I'll save this half a bell pepper to put in something else. I keep my little compost thing handy to put my scraps in. Usually throw them in the sink until I grab that and just put them in there. That way you don't have to have it sitting on your counter constantly. I'm throwing my taters out of my pan, y'all. Get back in there. At this point, I'm going to put a little bit of garlic, crushed garlic. If you got fresh garlic, go ahead and use it. I've got some, but I just didn't want to mess with it. This is a great way to use up a baked potato that's left over from a meal, or maybe you boil some potatoes and they're already cooked, and this is a great way to use up those potatoes. Just chop them up and put them in an omelet. butter. And I've got 2 eggs. I'm going to break right here. Put them in this bowl and whip them up a little bit. And my eggshells also go in that little compost bucket. I'll just use this. Now you can add just a dash of milk to your eggs if you'd like. I mostly grew up with my mom not adding the milk because we were always allergic to the whole milk. So Mom didn't keep too much milk available except powdered milk. And I never liked the taste of powdered milk. And I'd only drink it if I put chocolate in it. So there's that ready to go. Turn this down quite a bit. Let's see. I want to get some of the brown scraped out of the bottom because I like that in my mixed up in my omelet. That's where all the seasonings are. Where all the good stuff is. Get it evenly distributed across my pan. I'm going to put in my eggs. And I'm only using 2 eggs because this is an individual omelet or quiche. So I'm not going to put a whole lot in there. Come over here and get my bacon. Crumble it on the top. I'm also going to put, I think I'll put my cheese on. I'll use usually 1 slice of cheese, or you can put any kind of cheese. You can put grated cheese. I just had a habit of doing this, taking 1 slice of cheese and just breaking it apart and spreading it around on top of my mixture. There you go. I'm going to slice up my tomato. Put it in real thin slices. Put it around. Oops. Getting them a little bit thicker than I wanted. Put that one in the middle. Put my basil in there. You can break it up or put the whole leaf on there, either one you want to do. I just kind of distribute mine around. put the lid on it and let it cook on a really low setting until the egg is cooked. Don't need this anymore. Get rid of this. And put all this other stuff in my compost box, my little bin, not the plastic though. We don't want to put that in there. But it's good to put your paper towels in your compost, your eggshells, because you know, we put paper, cardboard, that type of thing in your compost when you build your compost pile, and it breaks down the soil. So it's the same way with your paper towels that you're using in the house. Just throw your paper towel right in your compost bin, or your little bucket as I call it. Your eggshells, your paper, any paper that you're using in the house that you would normally put in your compost pile, just put it in your little compost bucket right along with the food scraps and stuff, and go dump it in your compost pile, or dump it in your tote or your bucket that you're trying to build soil in, and you'll have it in there already. Something else I'm going to do, I've got some Italian style cheeses. It's got mozzarella, provolone, parmesan, romano, fontina, and Ezzago cheese. I can't pronounce it. But I think I'm going to sprinkle that on the very top. Just a little bit of it. It's going to be even better. Looks almost like a pizza, doesn't it? Put it back on there and let that finish cooking. Oh, and I wanted to make another comment. I keep getting these comments from this one particular lady. And evidently it's because she forgets to turn her own closed caption on, because she likes to read what I'm saying instead of listening to me. I don't know if she's hard of hearing or what. But she's always commenting, you didn't turn closed caption on. I can't watch this video without closed caption. Please fix your caption. Well, I've tried to explain to her, I've got closed caption turned on as default setting on all my videos. There are some that YouTube does not download closed caption on. Not many, but once in a while you'll come across one. For some reason they do not download closed caption for. I know for a fact the video that she's talking about was my baking video that I did just a day ago on the muffins. I went back and brought it up in YouTube, and I watched it just to see if the closed caption was on. My closed caption came right up and I could read it. So my advice to her is, and I've tried to tell her this, make sure when you watch your videos, your CC at the bottom has a red line under it. That means it's turned on. Otherwise, your own closed caption is turned off, and it's not going to come up on your screen. And I'm sorry you have that problem, but like I said, my closed caption is turned on 100% all the time. It's default setting on my YouTube videos. So it's got to be on your end. I mean, bless her heart, you know, I wish I could be there and fix it for her, but I've tried to tell her, make sure yours is turned on, and that's all I can do. So now basically, when your cheese is all melted, your eggs are done. And mine's almost ready to go. The cheese is a little, yeah, I still got a little bit of egg, I think, that needs to cook in the center. But other than that, it looks like it's pretty well cooked. Turn it up just a little bit and let it cook the center. But this is the way I love to do my omelets or quiche, if I have all the ingredients available out of the garden. Sometimes I don't have the fresh basil or the fresh tomatoes or the fresh onions, and therefore I will improvise and put like basil powder or dried basil, you know, because I do dry my own basil every year, and I need to do that. I need to get my dehydrator full of basil and put it out on the patio and let it dry overnight, because I can't leave it in the house to do that. It fills the air with so much of the basil smell, and I love smelling it, but it makes me sick. My allergies, it bothers me too bad. So yeah, I'll have to do a video on dehydrating basil, drying basil. Yeah, I think this is done. And as you can see, it will slide right out of the pan. No problem. And one video subscriber mentioned, well, you got a sink in your sink. So evidently she's a new subscriber. She hasn't watched a lot of the old videos. Yes, ma'am, I keep a sink in my sink because I take my dishwater, because I've got my sink fixed. There's no problem with the drain. It's fixed. But I save my dishwater, and I water my plants right out my front door with it. They love dishwater because sometimes you get a little food particles in the water. They don't mind the soap. It helps keep ants out of their pot. So yeah, I say with this water rationing we've had going on for 3 years now, I save every bit of water I can. I repurpose every bit of water I can just to keep my vegetables watered, because I can only water with the city water with my garden hose 1 day a week. So, and out here when it gets hot and dry, your plants need to be watered at least 2 times a week to keep them alive, unless you have water reservoirs in the bottom of all of them. And so far, there's some of my pots and totes that have holes in the very bottom, so the water drains through. It doesn't hold a lot in the bottom of it. So those I have to water at least twice a week. Some of the other ones I do. Like the 5-gallon bucket planters out here. You know, I've got like 1, 2, there's like 5 or 6 5-gallon buckets stacked to make a planter out of. Those drain at the bottom, especially the very bottom ones, so they don't hold a lot of water. And the very top one especially will get a little dry. So I have to keep that one watered at least twice a week. And I was out there yesterday watering with my stored water in my big containers, making sure that those had plenty of water to them. But anyway, let's get back to my breakfast. Don't that look good? That's my breakfast this morning, y'all. Oh, I'm going to enjoy that as soon as it cools off some. The plate's almost so hot I can't hold it just by putting the omelet in there. But it looks like a little pizza, doesn't it? Pizza omelet. Pizza quiche. Dear Lord, bless this food I'm about to eat. Bless all the YouTubers out there. Amen. But it's a great way to use up some of your little tomatoes. They work great as a topping on your... Oh, that's a big mouthful. I don't think I can put all that in my mouth. Y'all take a bite. It's steaming hot. You can see the steam coming off of it. Oh, that's going to be so good. Thumbs up, y'all. That's a winner. I love making my omelets this way and my quiche. It's so much faster and easier than mixing it all up and putting it in the oven, especially for one person. For even two people, you know, I can make a bigger frying pan. But in the summertime, you don't want to turn your oven on any more than you have to. And this is a great way to make omelets or quiche, either one you want to call it, in a little frying pan on top of your stove so you don't heat your house up. And with that, I'm going to wish y'all a good day. Bless everybody. Have a blessed day. Please like, share, and subscribe to my videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye now. Love y'all.